Yes, we're gonna call the March 10th Utility Committee meeting to order. All members are present. I ask Councilman Chickside to lead us into a prayer following the pledge.
Dear Lord, we want to thank you for all the good things you've given us in Ascension Parish. We'd like to ask you that we go to this year making good decisions with all the improvements that we want to make in this parish. We ask that you grant us good weather to do the things we need to do in this spring, and that you also allow us to get home safely tonight. Also, please allow our servicemen and women to do things to the best of their ability and all come home safely. We ask all this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public comment. Anybody in the audience wishing to speak on anything on the agenda, sign up on the comment card and we'll call you. Okay, nobody? Update on LCDBG Lemon Ville Sewer Project, Ms. Martha Collins, Grant Officer, and CAO, Mr. Cedric Grant.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. I'm here today to update you on the Lemonville project. This has been going on, I think, since 2005 is when we did the actual application. Through many attempts to try and move this project forward, we have unsuccessfully bid this out twice, and both times came in overbid. The first time we bid it was $1,400,000. The second time we bid it just recently, it came in $1,500,000. The total amount that was allocated to this project through LCDBG was $600,000. So therefore, we sent a letter to Ms. Carol Newton asking her that we were unable to obtain some additional funds to, first of all, to fund the project. We asked them if we could. There were two things that we asked. First, could we take these funds that were dedicated to this project and apply it to another project, maybe move it and continue, maybe go into the Hillryville Phase 2 to complete that one? Or could we take the monies and put it to a total separate project? And for both of those issues, she came back and said that the money cannot be given to another project, nor can it be allocated to a new project. So we were sent a letter recently saying that due to the fact that we were unable to come up with additional funds, that these funds were now going to be deobligated back into the pot for LCDBG. Now, we didn't get any money, so therefore, because it is a reimbursable, so it's not like it came in, but we did have opportunities to continue the project. We're still looking at what we can do. I know Mr. Grant might want to comment a little bit later on, some of the things we're looking at. We are not giving up on the project, but at this time there's a 2-year limit, and therefore we had to move on it as far as once the funds were obligated. So this is the first time I've come to you to say that I didn't have money for you, but that we're going to have to give these funds back.
Ms. Collins,
Mm-hmm.
Does that affect us for applying for any other LCDBG
No, sir.
grants down the road?
That was one of the first question that I asked. Due to the importance of LCDBG to many parishes, we did not want that to go as maybe a penalty, and she said it did not. These sewer projects are large amount of monies, and we even asked if they had some money left over, could they give that to us to possibly help with the cost of actually getting the project off, and there was no funds that could be transferred to this. So we're looking at other options. It's not that this will go down. If we have an opportunity, we will reapply for it once we can maybe secure some other areas of funding. Mr. Grant, would you like to add something?
We were open to suggestion on other projects in the area that we can apply for. This one just became untenable on both bids. I mean, 50 to 60% over budget. So we know it's a critical area that needs service, but
Yeah, and Martha, we had tried before on the rural development, and also, I think that was already tried.
We've tried
Yeah.
numerous different partnerships of where we could partner with this, up to 3 or 4 different funding agencies. And we could not get the funds
Right.
in the allotted time.
Just to give some background to people, it started out about 4 or 5 years ago, and it was going to be a $900,000 project. And at that point in time, in fact, it was pre-Katrina when we first got started.
That's correct.
And they had $1 million that was available with the LCDBG grant at that time. And so we were going to be well within what we needed, and that's why we started with the sewer project at the jail to send it to Donaldsonville. Now it's going to where it's a $1.5 million project, and LCDBG backed off now to $600,000 on sewer collection. And so it made it where the money's just not there for that. I do want to say, though, that I've spoken with Mr. Grant and you know, Martha and other people involved, is we do know we have 2 communities that were built at a time that unfortunately right now doesn't meet any parish regulations. They were built in very small areas and very confined spaces, and it's very important that we get roads that need to be built to connect, because they're so narrow, and sewer from having houses right on top of each other. It's really a municipal type building out, but in the parish setting. And so it's important that we try to figure out a way to get some help to these people in some way, shape, or form with sewer and roads, so that they can, you know, function and actually move forward and be able to build houses and such, because our parish regulations did not allow them to build any more houses because of the situation they're in.
And two, you have to remember that LCDBG, for these funds, they only allow you 2 projects to run simultaneously at the same time. That's another issue as far as timing. When we went through the motions, we now have 0 applications in. With this one now actually not going to be funded or not going to be done, then we will be able to apply for 2, up to 2. I think they might let us have 2 at the same time. I'm not sure, but at least 1 more we'll get to reapply for. Because Hillryville has closed out. That left us 1, and we still had 2 at the time, so Lemonville was the other. Now we'll have an opening.
And Mr. Grant, what's going to be the process to go through and get, you know, the best possible scenario for LCDBG?
well, we'll go back to the CBD regulations and see what the other kinds of infrastructure are allowed. I'd like to look at the road project that you talked about and see if we can finesse an application for that.
Okay, so we should go through you
Yes.
on that. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councilman. Any other comments?
One question.
Yes, sir.
Martha, I guess with this, there's no way of breaking that project down to where we could still do part of it for that 600. It makes sense to do that and still use the money?
Ben, we've done that once. We broke down Hillryville and we got half of a project done. It doesn't make sense to split it up. It really doesn't, because you end up with having 2 projects half done. It makes sense to go ahead and do
It was
a
possible to
full-blown-
do that, though? I'm sorry.
You know, it was the consensus of our administration that we do the full-blown application.
Okay.
Councilman Shexler, you got something?
I'm sorry, I was just, we'll talk about it after.
And if it doesn't make sense to break it up, then let's not do that.
It's not feasible.
Right, okay.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry,
Scott.
gentlemen, but we'll get it another way.
Okay, agenda item 5, resolution creating consolidated utility district. We're gonna need a motion to move forward with that, but after we hear from, Mr. Cedric Grant.
Gentlemen, this has been a discussion of ours for over 6 months, and what I'm asking for today is a resolution from this committee to the council authorizing that we introduce this ordinance that would establish a consolidated utility district on the East Bank, which is the first step forward for us in sewer and other utilities to begin to get the management of that and regulation of those utilities under parish control. We have 2 other pieces of business to do as a result of this that we have tried for some 6 months to do, and I will be going to the Water District number 2 meeting on Monday to ask that they agree to being assumed into this utility district. Water District number 6 has already agreed, so we're prepared to move forward on this. And this is a necessary action to go along with our grant with DEQ. Loan. I wish it was a grant to begin to secure the funds for our DEQ loan for our comprehensive sewer program.
Good job.
I'll make that motion and.
Second. I'll second that.
Motion by Councilman Shake Snyder, second by Councilman Johnson. Any opposition to the motion?
I'd like to
None.
say something, real quick. I'd like to thank Mr. Grant for moving forward with this and let people know we're trying to move very quickly to get some infrastructure with sewer and water and move forward so we can provide services to people. And so this is a big step.
This is the first step in a long journey. Big progress at Hickory Parish.
There was no opposition to the motion. Motion passes. Would you make sure that you send that on to council for a vote at the next council meeting?
Introduction of an ordinance.
Introduction of resolution. Okay, moving right along. Agenda item number 6, comprehensive sewer program update.
Gentlemen, as I told you at your last meeting, I'll be bringing you monthly updates on the progress of this comprehensive sewer plant and discharge to the river. What you have in your packet is a Gantt chart, which is the schedule, the current schedule that we are on. This will be updated monthly as we go down the line, but if you look carefully at the diamond is when we award the bid for the comprehensive sewer plant, and we're estimating that to be in the September to October timeframe at this point. What that means is that we will close the loan with DEQ sometime in the early summer. We will, as you can see, design being completed on this plant somewhere about the April-May timeframe. It's in final review by the Corps of Engineers. Our staff has done their final review comments. That we have 95% plans that are being finalized. We are in the process of doing right of entries with BASF. Next week, the surveyors will be on the property, surveying the site. BASF has taken it all the way up to their corporate offices on the donation. That's moving smoothly. So we are in the middle of final design on the sewer plant and the effluent discharge to the river and land acquisition of the site. And all steps are moving forward. I met with DEQ last week with the folks in the program management team, and we are on track to deliver all of the documents that they need to secure our loan. As I said to you, by the end of May, June timeframe, they have graciously agreed to make our loan from all state funds, which allows us the ability to match other federal dollars should they become available. So that's a real opportunity for us to create more match opportunities. We've paid up all of our match with the Corps of Engineers, so we have everything is in place for us to move to construction on this sewer, this 1.5 million gallon sewer plant and discharge to the river.
You need a motion on that?
No, this was informational,
It's an update.
Okay.
but I do want to keep you informed that we are in the sewer. We're about to get in the sewer business.
I want to thank you, Mr. Grant, for all the hard work you've been doing to move this process forward. Okay, agenda item number 7, resolution for sewer collection system procurement process.
Yes.
Mr. Cedric Grant.
Sir, I brought this to you last month and for your consideration. I'm going to ask that you consider this resolution today to move to the council. And what this does is basically establish competitive selection process for a potential private provider of a sewer collection system. As I just explained to you, what we have in hand is an $18 million loan to build a plant and a discharge. Okay, we now need the collection system and how we're going to get that. We've had some interest on the part of potential private providers to go about the business of acquiring the private systems and tying them to our sewer plant for a fee. We need to know what that is. So this process would allow us to solicit that and to evaluate it and come back to you and see if there's an opportunity here for us to jumpstart this sewer program about 10 years based on what the current plan that we have in place is a 20-year plan. If we were successful in doing this application, I believe it would move us forward 10 years. But there is serious interest in people pursuing this option, and this allows us the opportunity to pursue that.
Motion by Councilman
Second.
Collins to make that motion,
Second.
made that motion on the resolution. Second by Councilman Shake Snyder. Any opposition to the motion? Any comments, concerns? None. Motion passes, no opposition. Agenda item number 8, new, old business. Mr. Grant? Any new business,
No,
old
sir.
business?
We'll tell you the thing that you gave me last month on the folks that would like to donate the system, their sewer system to us. I'm having my staff review that, and we were not quite ready to make a recommendation on that, but it's in review.
I think that we made a, part of a resolution, we did an ordinance that everybody that builds a subdivision has to put in a generator, and I think that was part of the discussion.
Yes, that's going to be part of our review.
Mr. Matassa.
You were talking about that contractor that came to the meeting. Those plans were approved way back.
Prior to
So
that.
he wouldn't fall under that law of the generation. But any new ones from now on has to.
Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And
Councilman
question.
Shakespeare.
That's one that would be donating it to the
Yes, sir.
parish?
Yes, sir.
Okay, they would donate it and they would have to have a generator?
Well, as Kenny indicated, because of when they
Yeah,
they were
and this is what I'm getting at. We have systems right now that we would have to purchase to take over, right?
Well, right now, we are going to set up like 5 generators on trailers that getting from OEP to for emergency when power goes out, and they will be big enough to run them. But this gentleman here, President Martinez, asked him to put that in there, but he said he couldn't make the contractor pay that much more money because he'd already had it all planned out. But he would get with us on the types of pumps and possible location, Mr. Grant, I think,
Yeah.
which would help us out in
Well,
the future.
And this is what I'm getting at. If we normally they would take it themselves, put a generator in, and in a new system they can make money for a few years as long as the maintenance costs. Then at that point in time, the parish would have to buy it from them.
Correct.
Okay. Well, if he gets a new system and he donates it to the parish, I think we would be money well spent, pay for a generator and get a new system where we can make money for a little while.
Well, again,
You know.
I'd like to do the analysis and bring
Yeah.
it back.
Yeah, because we never met with him fully to see the whole deal. He's supposed to get with Mr. Grant and line up a meeting to discuss his plan and
I
everything.
think that's a good trade-off.
Okay, thank you, Mr. McCaskill, Mr. Grant. Any other old business? Entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Councilman Johnson. Second by Councilman Lambert. No opposition. Adjourn.